Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Namo Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Do it together. Namaste Saraswati.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Hare Bol.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Can you hear me all right? And I welcome you all, first of all, to this beautiful, beautiful manor. It compares to none other in the world. Shri Shri Radha Gokulanandaji. Well, I think they're the most beautiful. And they are. Krishna is beautiful, as you know. Krishna means what? Everyone knows, right? All attractive, yes? So here we are. So now we're going to be having a class. My name is Vrinda Vilasini Devi Dasi, and I'll be speaking from Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, which is Purushottam Yoga, or in English, it's the Yoga of the Supreme Person. So we'll be doing verse 2. So if anybody fancies or anybody wants to follow, there is some Bhagavad Gitas there. Please help yourselves. Unlike you come prepared like Mataji, what's your name? Indulekha Devi Dasi Mataji. She's come prepared with her own Bhagavad Gita. So all glories, all glories. Oh, you guys have probably got on your app, you know, these days when somebody's looking at phone, you can't judge. Oh yeah, look what they're looking at. Could be something mundane. Because you have Bhaktivedanta Library, BVL app, Google it, and Veda base, and you can actually pick chapter 15, verse 2, and there's Sanskrit, and there's Hindi, and there's English too. So we're just going to be doing a very small Kirtan, glorifying, of course, our Jagat Acharya, and then we'll start off from the verse. And you're most welcome to ask questions. If you think or if you feel the need to ask questions, please do feel free to ask. So I'll start, and I welcome online viewer too, all the viewers online too, if there are any. And let's start. You have to excuse my voice today. It's just recovering from a little bit of a sore throat, so. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन जमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokul Nand Radha Gokul Nand Radha Gokul Nand Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 बोलो श्री श्री राधा गोकुल नंद भगवान जी की So we're just going to ask for blessings. Obviously, I ask blessings from my mom and dad. They're here with me, Satya Devi and Purushottam Das. And I seek blessings from my dearest Guru Maharaj, His Holiness, Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He changed my life completely from what I used to be. And obviously, we're very, very grateful to him to put me on this path that had I just relied on myself, I would have never found. So it's his mercy that we are here. And we are very, very thankful to him for that. And all of you, please, if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. So, of course, we get here with the blessings of the Shiksha Gurus and our mentors. We have we were very lucky, Rajesh Krishna and I, that we had, we started off with Neela Madhav Prabhu, and then we were passed on to His Grace Radha Vinod Prabhu, Prem Sangeetan Prabhu as well for a bit, and then we have His Grace Mukunda Hari Prabhu now, and many, many more Shiksha Gurus have been there for us. So we've been very lucky for their association. And their blessings and all their hard work for getting us here today. So let's start off with Bhagavad Gita. There are small prayers that we do. We say it 3 times before we start with Bhagavad Gita. So we'll just start off with that. You please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so please open chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, and the verse number 2. So I don't know any of you, if you were here yesterday, it was Cyrus Prabhu giving a wonderful class about a very complicated topic. And he was talking about the little background, a banyan tree. He was explaining how banyan tree is compared to the material world, and how intricate the roots of the banyan tree and the branches and the leaves are, that's compared to this really complicated material world that we live in. Because it's not simple, is it? So we'll recite the second verse, and then we will go on to what Krishna is trying to tell us about text 2 and what he wants us to learn from it. So, okay. So I'll pronounce the whole verse first. Well, I can pronounce one line if those of you who'd like to follow can. And then if anybody wants to repeat the verse themselves, then I can follow them. Yeah? So, adhaschodharvam prasittas tasya shakha guna pravriddha vishaya pravala adhascha mulayanu anusantatani. Let's try again. Adhascha mulani anusantatani. Karmanubandhini manushaloke. Karmanubandhini manushaloke. Adhaskordhavam prastastasya sakha. Adaskovardham pratascha tasya shakha. Guna pravriddha vishaya pravala. Adhascha mulanyanusantatani. Karmanubandhini manushaloke. So, the word-by-word translation is Atha, which means downward. Oh, sorry, would anybody like to pronounce or repeat by themselves? No takers? Would you like to? Yeah, please be my guest. Adhascha Chordhavam prasittasya tasya shakha. Guna pravriddha vishaya pravalaha. adhascha mulana santantani karmanubandhini manushaloke. So good, very good. We have to be slightly daring, isn't it? It's not. Sanskrit is, well, should be our mother tongue, should be our main language, but it isn't. So luckily, this Bhagavad Gita, which is slightly different from normal Bhagavad Gita, please don't get any Bhagavad Gita. Please get Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is the miracle Srila Prabhupada's done. So there is translation. So we are able to actually understand and recite the Sanskrit in English, right? So adha means downward, cha means and, urdhavam means upwards, prasthaha means extended, tasya means its, shakha means branches, guna means by the modes of material nature, pravadha means developed, vishaya means sense object, and pravala means twigs. Then adha means downward, cha, then mulani is roots, right? And anusantatani means extended. And karam, everyone knows what is karma, to work. Anubandhani, bound. Bandhani or bandhini, meaning bandhana, like that. So bound, something that binds you. And then manushya loke, in the world of human society. So, translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the object of senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. And purport by His Divine Grace, we'll read. The description of the banyan tree is further explained here. Its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities, human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. These are situated on the lower parts of the branches, whereas on the upper parts are the higher forms of living entities, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and many other higher species of the life. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. The twigs of tree are considered to be sense objects. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses, and by the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, the ears, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendencies towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from these secondary roots, which spread in all directions. The real root is the Brahmalok, and the other roots are in the human planetary system. After one enjoys the results of various activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to the earth and renews his karma, or the fruitive activities for promotion. This planet of human being is considered as the field of activities. So another prayer, and I promise this is the last one, and this is very important because it's saying that my blinded eyes have, or my blindness, or my eyes have taken me from darkness to the light, right? So it's there in the introduction section, if anyone wants to follow, on page 1. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjalashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kademayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Vitam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Sadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchange Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhu Bhepacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, a complicated topic for those who make it complicated, and easy peasy for people who make and understand it well. So the confidence comes from knowledge, we all know. And we also know the common sayings, man is known by the company he keeps. So if we want to get thorough knowledge of this, there's plenty of people who've dedicated their whole life to studying this. And they've actually made it in a easy, digestible form. You know, like you have GCSEs, the bite-sized revision and this, that, the other these days. Obviously, Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, all our acharyas, those, over there, as you can see, Srila Prabhupada's, gurus, they have all actually given us a lovely collection of conclusions and in an easy to read and understand format. So here, basically what they're saying is if we were to actually even try and make head or tail of, even though they've explained in purport, what did you understand? Could you tell me what's your name, Mataji? Sakshi. Oh, wow. One of like Sakshi Gopal is also one of Krishna's name, right? What did you understand from what, just literally the verse and the purport we read? Because I just want to hone in on the point that how we always need people who have done research on these topics. Yes? Yes. Yeah. Yes. 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 Of the trees. You've understood. Very good. You've done very well by understanding. What about you, Mataji? Would you like to try? No? What's your name? Pretty. Ruchi. Okay. Ruchi, do you have Ruchi in the holy books? You got a beautiful name because one of the stages in bhakti is Ruchi, where you really have this habit and hobby of and the desire, that way. But that's very nice name, lovely. Anybody else who's wants to say what they've understood? But if they haven't, then basically Srila Prabhupada here and Krishna here is telling us that our life is in this material world is like a banyan tree. Now, what is special about banyan tree? When you see a tree, what do you see? The roots are on the ground, or do you see it up in the air? There you go. But the banyan tree is different. All the trees in the world here, all the trees have the roots which are in the earth, and the leaves and the branches and the twigs, everything is all up in the air, right? Unless you see banyan tree, because banyan tree has the branches which are underneath in the earth, and the roots are actually the one which are hanging that you see entwined with everything. And a lot of people, like my dad used to tell me, when they were little, they would just swing, and that used to be their play mode of, swinging from the tree, like in a Tarzan mode kind of thing. Why is Krishna mentioning banyan tree in particular? Because he's comparing it to, if we wanted to find out where is the beginning of this tree and where it ends, it's going to be very difficult for us to do that, right? Because it's so intricately entwined. Even if you tried to, okay, let me solve this mystery by just holding on to one root and one branch, and then I'll see where it goes, it's going to be extremely difficult for us to actually fathom where is the beginning, where is the end, and it's going to be so complicating. We'll probably lose all our life thinking, oh yeah, this was the branch, this was the twig I was at, right? Similarly, he's comparing the banyan tree like an analogy to this material world, because it's very complicated. Why is it complicated? Because we know there's 3 modes of material nature. They confuse the whole world. You've probably heard Maya, right? So we all know, but look how it's like a tree of illusion for us. So what they've given in the verse before, how when a normal tree, when you look at it, if it's on the banks of a river or a reservoir or a lake, water, you can see that the tree is appearing with its roots wrong way around, right? Because in the reflection, everything is upside down. So similarly, they're saying in the spiritual world, whatever you find in this material world, a lot of people are in denial. They say, oh, God hasn't got any form. You tell me, how is it possible? Somebody who's God, is it difficult for him to give a form to himself? He can give you a form. He can give you a name, right? He can give me a form. He can give Rajesh Krishna a form. But he can't have a form himself? What do you think? Can Krishna do everything and anything? God means what? He's got 6 opulences, right? All knowledge, all strength, all renunciation, all beauty, and he's powerful. All wealth, opulences. So if he is all powerful, he can't give himself a form. But what people do mistake with is they think, because we know, like there is philosophy of achinte bheda. So one and simultaneously different. This is the way Krishna works. So like sun, we all know what is sun oblong or is he round? Round, right? We all see it. But somebody who doesn't look up and just sees the light, he's going to say, oh, sun is only light. Is that right? Where is the source of that light? It's coming from somewhere. Would you agree? Right? So sunlight's coming from sun. That is the source of light. So we cannot say sun has got no form. Similarly, Krishna, if he chooses to have no form, who can stop him? No one. But because the effulgence comes, because he's effulgent, and there's a detailed description of his form, how beautiful his flute is, how, his color of his garland, the color of his dhoti, the jewel kasturba, it's all there in the description. We just need to pick up the book, Brahma Samhita or Srimad Bhagavatam. It's all there in Canto 3, so we cannot say he hasn't got a form. They've even explained his complexion. Its hue is that of a cloud, a dark monsoon cloud, right? So similarly, if this material world is so difficult for us to understand, Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand Bhagwan Ji ki. Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki. So if we want to understand this world, we need to actually analyze and understand and have the knowledge. Because when you have got a sat-nav, what do? You can just put a postcode and go, but you still need to make sure you've got the right postcode. And when you're putting the postcode, you also have to make sure that you have actually got the correct road, because otherwise you may end up somewhere else. So similarly, Krishna has given us this material body, and in here he's explained in the first line that the branches of this tree extend downwards and upwards, nourished by the three modes of material nature. So these branches are going in both directions, like you mentioned, but he mentioned three modes of material nature. Now, with three modes of material nature, if I actually use this book, and in chapter 7, the verse 14, it says, Devi hi esha gunmaya. You probably know this verse. This is one of the key verses, isn't it? Mama maya duratteya. Please recite with me. Mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So what is Krishna saying there? This divine energy of mind. So even these modes of material nature, which is mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, Satogun, Tamogun, Rajagun, they are his divine energies, right? And it's very difficult to overcome. He said this. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna saying, this divine energy of mind, consisting of three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me, can easily cross beyond it. So wherever we see there is a problem, Krishna is also giving you solution. So he's telling you, yes, I agree, I've made this, it's very complicated. However, if you do this, you will get by, right? So that's one verse which tells us about these gunas. And when we go on to this verse, we know that this world is, like I mentioned, there is nothing in this world that doesn't exist in spiritual world. Spiritual world, whatever we get here, we get light here, but spiritual world they don't need moon, they don't need sun, it's always lit. There's no electricity failures there, right? But, so they say, like Jagat Mithya, is false. It's not. It's all truth. But some of the stuff here in material world is like a perverted reflection. I don't want to go into some of the stuff, but anyway, so we know that the world is truth, but it's a reflection of a spiritual world. So this tree, where you have roots upstairs, and there's no such thing. It's only seen in reflection. However, when you go to this particular one, banyan tree, they say is from Brahmalok. So the roots go all the way to Brahman. And the material world is dependent on the desires, which are never ending. So our desires, owing to the three modes of material nature, are never ending. Just like the depth of, to understand this tree, where it begins from, where it ends, there is no ending if we wanted to put a time limit on it. So similarly, the root cause or the basic principle that they mentioned in the previous chapters and verses is that the devotional service is, by devotional service, one has to break the attachment to this material world. So when you break attachment to something, what would happen? The new route would open. You will have automatic attachment to the spiritual world, right? Or the Brahman. So they say as soon as you have, I think in chapter 14, it mentions in one of the lines that the cultivation of the spiritual knowledge, when you start going towards that, it automatically is the beginning of you trying to understand the transcendental world. Transcendental world against material world. Material world, we all know, is temporary. We are here today. Who knows where we're going to be tomorrow? The spiritual world, on the other hand, we know is eternal. And we know our soul is eternal. Soul is the fragment of something who is eternal, who is Lord Krishna. Hence the reason when you come here, you put all your anxieties, all your miseries, all your... You have that feeling of peace, the non-anxiousness, the satisfaction, the bliss, Ananda, Satchid Ananda. Why? Because you associated with your spiritual master or your spiritual God, like the supreme part, your supreme father. This is why I don't understand. People say God has no form. Hang on. If you think, okay, where have I come from? My mom, dad, they have a form. Their mom, dad have got a form. Their grandparents would have got a form. If you carry on going like that, you'll see everybody has got some form. So all we need to know is increase our knowledge. And you cannot increase your knowledge by saying, as much as I like to see school, I don't want to go there. And if I want to go there, I only want to stay in sports section. I don't want to go and study anything. Would you be able to top in the class in studies? You'd be able to top in your sports. So we need to make sure that we get our priorities right and we understand what is Krishna trying to tell us. So he's saying it's not easy peasy, these trying to get over these gunas, right? These mode of mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance. The goal is to come to mode of goodness to begin with, and that's why we say get up early in the morning, do your chanting, peaceful mind, all these things. But then, even if you've come to mode of goodness, or you become vegetarian, like monkeys are vegetarian, would you then reach the ultimate goal? No, because you need to know where your goal is to begin with. So what we have to do then is understand that what is the actual knower of Veda. As you know, the previous verse, it states that Vedavit. Vedavit means someone who actually knows, who is the knower of these Vedas. So one who associates with just the fruitive activities, there is a huge manuscript, there's a huge book about it. If you do this, then you can get this. If you do that, you can achieve this. It's like, in this material world, there was an example. What is the difference between what demigods can give you to what Krishna can give you? So demigods give you everything that you may want and you desire. Whereas the difference is Krishna is going to give you everything that is good for you, right? You may not think at the time, okay, that's what I needed. He'll give you what is required. Because whatever demigods have given you, say you wanted, oh God, I pray for a big house or a big boat, or these days, not cars, it's like, oh, I want my own private jet, right? My son says, I want to retire at 40-something. These days, they're different. You can come ask demigods for that, they'll give it. But then whatever they've given you, be prepared. You're going to have to leave it all behind, because I'm sure you've all heard the story that not a single needle, even something so small, you cannot take with you, can you? When somebody dies, do they say, oh, I want to take my bank balance? I've got a mansion of 8 rooms, I want to take that. You can't. So yes, you can go and ask the demigods for what you want, and they're very merciful, they'll give you. But at the same time, you may not be able to take it to the eternal world. The only thing that will go with you is bhakti, finding out what is your goal, what is the way that takes you there, abhidaya, prayojan, and all that. So moving on to the next bit of this verse, the second line, we've mentioned the gunas, and they're saying this tree is going to be nurtured by the gunas, like water would actually nourish a tree. So similarly, if you actually, this is the beginning of the bondage of Ichcha and Dvesha. Here it mentions the aversion and the, what's the other word they used here? So ichha and thing, and then there is aversion and liking, in other words, that you may want. So we all think, okay, I like this, or I don't like it, reject this, I like this. So that actually is the beginning of the bondage. So you may then choose to do something which is pious, or I like spending time with sadhus, or I like spending time to feed poor children, or all these other pious activities that you may think. And then there is other activities which are impious. So depending on which one you feed in your nature, aversion or attachment, this is the beginning of the bondage of in this material nature, you know. So from then onwards, Krishna saying that, you know, in these, he's likened the branches to upper and lower branches. Upper branches he's mentioned in there that when we say demigods, like, so Devi Devtas, Gandharvas, people who sing at Indra's, you know, like, and all these other demigods. But what's the difference with them? So they may be enjoying, like you go on holiday. When you go on holiday, what do you do? Really like, enjoy, love your room, enjoy the seaside. What happens then? Do you have to come back, or do you say, oh yeah, I'm only going to stay at holiday because I love it so much here? Holiday means a break away from norm. It's temporary. Just like this life, which is temporary, just like this material world, which is like a temporary hotel you're in. So you cannot think, I always want to be living here. Even if you think, it's not going to happen, I can assure you. Everyone who's taken birth is also going to go to the next, you know, that verse 213, you know, the Yovanam, Komaram, Yovanam, Jara. So everybody is going to go through when they are toddlers, children, then the youth, then the old age, and then death. So what we need to do is we need to appreciate that the lower parts of the branches, which is where we are placed along with animals and all the other people, how do we nourish ourselves so that we can actually get out from this temporary world to the world where we would be with the eternal and will be serving the Lord Krishna, okay? So we would not have to go through this birth, death, old age, jara, vyadi. You know, the old age is not nice. Disease is not nice. Excuse me. So all these things, if you don't want to go through, then the best thing is that you realize, why are you here? And they've also mentioned, well, why are we here? That's the important fact to remember, because we have to know. We think, when I look at my mirror, this is Vrindavilasini. It's not. The actual person is soul. This body is made up of matters, which is going to get left behind. So when we actually start associating, similarly they've explained here, the twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. So from the branches, then comes the little twigs. So then they leads to, because of your aversion or dislike to something, or your attachment to, say, your dog, your family, your anything else that you may like, the desire starts. Then you start getting a more entangled, like everybody says, like, you know, sometimes brahmacharis, you see them, they get married. Then once they get married, they want to have a house. Once you have a house, you want to have children. When you have children, then the whole thing starts. It's like putting them through schooling. You need a good job because you want to obviously give the best to your, it's your family. So what can we do? We can just make them Krishna conscious, because that is the best gift. If you put them through a best school in life, what's going to happen in the end? Can they take that knowledge with them? They might be the top scientists in the world. Can they stop themselves from getting old? So many beautiful actresses, right? Beautiful actresses. They got so much money. Can they stop themselves from aging? Jane Fonda, all these other ladies that you know from previous time, what's happened? Liz Taylor, yeah? Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. So what do you need to do? Give the best gift to your children. How? By getting them associating with these books or sadhus. There's, all these people like Srila Prabhupada, his mood and mission. What is it all about? Why did he feel the need to leave nice and easy, lovely residence in Vrindavan? They say people who leave their body in Vrindavan, they automatically go to Golok Vrindavan, right? Or there's a very good chance. This gentleman here, in the old age, decided to go round the world so many times, establishing 108 temples. So our children, our grandchildren, our future generations have got something, and we understand about Krishna. So we need to give them that gift so that they understand why we should be so proud of being who we are. It's an eternal religion. It's not like, oh, I'm a Hindu, or I'm a Sikh, or I'm a Islamic, or I'm Christian, or anything like that. This is Sanatan Dharma, eternal Dharma. Our values are being taught, so you become the best of Hindus, or you become the best of your religion, or whichever religion you choose to follow. It's not about conversion. It's about you actually understanding. Because here it says, what is the identity of Krishna, and how can you get to him? And they give you later on in there, it says, look, the tips of the branches are the senses, the ear, nose, eyes, which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on. So directly when you see a delicious cake, what do you want to do? Do you want to eat it? So this is it. This is how the desire starts, and we get entangled. But nothing wrong with eating as long as we offer our food to Krishna. Why? Because then there is no sin in that. And there is a verse, 3:13, most of you would know, most of you would know here. Well, I'll recite it anyway because it's an important verse. Everybody should, even if they can just offer the water, the milk, anything else, the flour, because Krishna is saying, Yagyashishta sinasanto muchyante sarva kilbhishe bhujante tva gham papa ye pachanti atmakarana. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kind of sins because they eat food which is offered first for the sacrifice of others. Who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, they verily only eat sun. Why is there sin? Because it's a different level of consciousness. So we have blood in us. When we cut our finger, bleeding happens. Animals, the same. The lower consciousness, trees. When you cut them, what happens? The sap comes out. So it's not like they haven't got life. They have life. That's why they see the direction of sun and they can go towards sun. You put a plant like this, it'll find, and then it'll be bending towards to get where it needs to be. It's got life, it's got consciousness. But we have to work with the minimum violence principle. So to feed ourselves, because we are in food chain, unfortunately, we have to do that. However, by offering it to Krishna, because everything is his property, then we have it, then that way we do not incur any sin. So moving on to the third and fourth line. So the adhascha mulani anus santantani, and then the last one is karamanu bandhine manushya loke. So it says the tendencies towards piety and impiety are considered to develop from the secondary roots, which spread in all directions. The real root is from Brahmaloka, and the other roots are in the human planetary system. After one enjoys the results of various activities in the upper planetary system, he comes down to this earth to renew his karma. Here we go again. So just like demigods, Devi Devtas, after you have enjoyed for so long, you'll still come back because we are bound by our karma. So that's the reason why we need to get into devotional service, because the solution Krishna is giving us is to raise us first of all from those three gunas, get us to the Brahman platform. From that Brahman platform, then you can actually go on to other things. So, in one of his verses, that bhakti is such a process that you follow procedures and automatically things will happen. So bhakti has got, like they say, 2 children, 2 sons. Things that happens is detachment comes and knowledge comes. With knowledge, you'd be able to understand, and with detachment, you'd be able to see where you need to get to, right? So, I mean, in Srimad Bhagavatam as well, one of the verses that Kunti Devi would say is Janmeshwarya Shruta Shribhir Idhamana Madha Puma. Madha means intoxication. Madha means proud. Naivartante abhidhatum ve tvam akinchana gocharam. So when you are, oh my Lord, your lordship can be easily approached by only those who are materially exhausted. Because what are they saying? The 4 types of intoxication one has is, oh, I'm very good looking. Oh, look, Aishwarya Rai, she's very pretty. Would she have some sort of ego? She may not have, we don't know. But when one is beautiful, they think, I am it, right? Similarly, once you have high education, you start having a very high opinion of yourself, even if that education is no good to anyone. Then you have, you mentioned bodily beauty, high education, great parentage or respectable parentage. You might be a king's daughter or something like that. Automatically the toffee nose comes, right? I'm not talking about a particular person, but generally that seems to be the case. As soon as we human beings have little achievement of some sort, we become, oh yeah, there's no one like me. But when you actually compare it to how we are in so many different planets, we all know, like 14 planets or whatever planets, we know there's innumerable universes. Out of that innumerable universe, there's so many countries. Out of those countries, there's so many cities. Out of that city, we're in a London city. Okay, out of London, there's so many different provinces, so many different districts, right? And from there, we have one house. Out of so many houses, we have one house. And then we still think, hang on, I'm so proud of what I've achieved. I mean, nothing wrong with being grateful and proud. But what I'm saying is, like, the superfluous ego is not required, which easily comes from those things. And then in this particular life, one has to fly their own aeroplane. There's an analogy in Srimad Bhagavatam, in 1 canto, 15th chapter, 50 verse. And it's an aeroplane analogy that we can easily remember. That when you're up in the air and you're in trouble, can somebody save you? Or can you just say, oh, look, I can see the other aeroplane is distressed. Let me just go save him, never mind my own plane. It doesn't work like that, because similarly, at the end of your life, one needs to go back home. How can you go back to Godhead? One has to navigate their own plane to Golok Vrindavan, hopefully, without anyone's help. Because these days you don't know. Like my dearest Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, when he left this planet, he took with him Srimad Bhagavatam that he translated. He took his Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's tape, instructed the doctors, no matter what happens, you're not to switch this tape off. Why? Because he knew this life is all about practicing, and Prabhuji mentioned it's art of dying. So we need to be perfecting the principle of practicing so that we can become perfect in the art of dying. How do you do that? By practicing the Maha Mantra, right? Devotional service. Because what does that devotional service do? Brings us closer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it gives us insight into Srila Prabhupada's mood. You've seen how Srila Prabhupada have gone out into the West and changed so many people. And Cyrus Prabhu, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from? Jamaica. What chance Prabhuji had of being sat here yesterday and giving class on 15.1 verse. I was listening to him, and a fantastic class he gave. And it's all thanks to Srila Prabhupada, and obviously his endeavor to try and get to know his real reason for being in this world, and not just identifying with this body, but also knowing what else is there, right, for me to do. So conclusion and summary is, there is a we've been lucky. This dvesha and ichha and dvesha, the aversion and attachment, is the basic principle which is going to be binding to us in this material world. So we need to try and have our senses doing something, because senses are very difficult to control. But if you engage them, so if you can sing beautifully, please sing for Krishna. If you can do art beautifully, what can you do? Then you can make paintings like, look, lovely. If you are a very good cook, what can you do? You can feed Krishna in your house, then give the same prasad to your children. Excuse me. So any qualification, any quality that you have, you can actually employ it by dovetailing your own desires to that of the Supreme Lord. You would automatically get out of this cycle of birth and death and old age and repeated cycles like this. So the solution, like I said, is practicing the perfection of art of dying by practice. So what we're going to be practicing? We're going to be practicing, can I ask everyone to put their hands up in the air? Okay, what am I going to say next? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this one verse that my Guru Maharaj said, if you have got Maha Mantra, it's not a normal mantra that people would just give you in ear and you don't. In this age of Kali, there is no other thing besides this one which is going to work. So he said to us when we went for second initiation, he was just generally giving us a lecture, that if somebody is a billionaire and if you gave him a fiver, what's he going to think of that fiver? Is he going to really value it and just keep it and think, oh, I've got so much money? No. He's already got billions. What's he going to do with £5? So similarly, Guru Maharaj used to say, if you've got Maha Mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra is so potent, it can actually get rid of all anarthas from your heart so that you can come slowly, close to Krishna, close to devotees, close to all these saints who have dedicated their lives in propagating the holy name for the world, to the world. So please, whilst you've got chance, please, even if you just take out 5 minutes of your time to do just one Maha Mantra. One Maha Mantra on a round is 108 times, right? Beads. You have 108 beads, and on there you just do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And similarly carrying on. If you just make time for that, and you will see, I can guarantee you will see the difference in your own self. You wouldn't waste time in who said this, who's got this, have I got designer this, have I got designer that. Who cares? You know, there's far more important issues to worry about in this life. So this is it. We are giving, all these people, you've got great company here. We're going to have Aarti at 7. There's people like our Damodar Krishna Prabhu, Prem Sangeetan Prabhu, Sutapa Prabhu, like Shruti Dhama and Prana Bandhu here, Prabhu. Our great teachers, if anybody who wants to know the philosophy in deeper, I can totally recommend School of Bhakti. I've got Srimad Bhagavatam teacher, His Grace Navdeep Chandra Prabhu, Param Karuna Hans Prabhu, who's our Bhakti Shastri teacher, and our other Bhakti Vaibhav teacher. They teach you the whole philosophy so nicely that at least in your lifetime, if nothing else, you can at least make a start in your spiritual journey. Yeah. So we haven't got time for questions, and if there's any questions, you can see me outside. But we're going to be doing Aarti now from 7 till 7:30. You'll please need to stand up. And thank you so much for putting up with my talk. And if I have made any mistakes or if I've offended you in any way, I can only apologize. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming again. And please keep attending. Hare Hare.
Jayo, Jayo, Gaurachanda, Arati Koshoba. Arati Koshoba, Kiva Jayo. Sanjaya Mukunda Bhatmi Gatarigaya Sanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Sanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Vidanga Bhaje Paramatala Madhura Vidanga Bhaje Paramatala Sanka Baje Gata Baje Madhur Madhur Madhura Baje Sanka Baje Gata Baje Madhur Madhur Madhura Baje Sanka Baje Gata Baje Madhur Madhur Madhura Baje Madhura 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 Baje Madhura 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 Baje Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol everybody Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Bahu Koti Chandra Dini Vadana Ujala Koti Chandra Dini Vadana Ujala Shiva Koti Chandra Dini Vadana Ujala Koti Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Gauravani Pratarine Nivishesha Shuyavani Paschata Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada ki
Now we're going to sing the Nrsimha Arti, so please sit down. I mean, it's only 5 minutes, yeah? Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste जय जय श्री नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय 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 श्री कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी प्रभु महोत्सव प्रिपरेशन की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे थैंक यू वेरी मच
Nine.
Krishna Prasthanato Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminitina Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunavadi Prasthitya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
So a small announcement. So the chandeliers are being cleaned, and we have to clear the temple room. So we are asking if you could kindly, Thank you.
Jai Shri Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Where's this switch?
I think down behind there. Yeah. Ruby front.
She knows
Yeah.
it. Yeah, she's already.
The entrance. Actually, the front.
Switch these two and this one, and then keep the last one on. Yeah. Yeah, keep one on. Switch everything else.